Hello. Well, welcome to the Dancing Italian Urban Farm. Today we're just gonna kind of do a bunch of stuff that needs to get done. I'm fixing to water the garden, and then I've got to harvest some basil and yeah, do a bunch of stuff inside. So here we go. Okay, so I made this cracker dough a while ago. I think I included it in a video, so it's been several weeks, at least 2. But it's in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll it out, get it baked, and get these homemade crackers. In my meal plan for the week. So I am going to start by pretty heavily flouring it because, you know, stuff and things and stuff. Right, alright. So I'm going to try to roll this out as square as I possibly can. Let me move this out of the way because it should be getting away. And see, I wanted to avoid that. These crackers are so good that if you like, you know, those square cheese crackers, or those little fish-shaped crackers, you're gonna love these sourdough crackers. Because of the nature of them being sourdough crackers and the sourdough, they're fermented. So they have a very cheesy flavor to them. So they taste just like those square cheese crackers that we all love. Now, you could use this to cut your crackers, or what I find to be actually easier is a pizza wheel. I'm just going to go right down the middle. You can flour your pizza wheel. It's a little difficult to do as it's circular, but you can. And then I'm going to find the center again, and the center again. What I'm going to try to do is kind of separate them. I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't separate them, you'll have to recut them when they come out. That's okay. We'll just do that. Because I think this dough is just too soft. So what I'm going to do, get my stuff out of the way, is transfer this onto this. Ta-da! And then, oh, I guess I should, well, I don't know, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to get a chopstick and I'm going to poke a hole in the center. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some regular old salt and I'm just going to salt the tops. You can use like a flake salt if you want to. I just ain't got none, so I'm not gonna. And then we are going to bake them for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna make cookie dough truffles. So you need 1 stick of butter and we're gonna whip that up. And then after you whip it, so it kind of looks like this, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. And we're going to mix that together. And you want to whip it until it's kind of creamy. Now I'm going to scrape the edges of my bowl and I'm going to mix it a little bit longer just to kind of get those sugar crystals that kind of got stuck to the side of the bowl during the mixing process. Because you don't want these to be grainy because we aren't cooking them. They're raw, they're edible cookie dough truffles. They're raw. And I'm going to talk about the flour in just a second. Let's get this mixed up first. Alright. It should be nice and creamy looking. Now, we're going to add in, first we're going to add in our vanilla and our salt. Now the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but we all know we measure vanilla with our hearts. Not with a measuring spoon. So I tend to put more. And then it says a 1/2 teaspoon, I'm sorry, 1 teaspoon of vanilla if you're measuring, but we measure with our hearts. Anyway, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm not gonna put quite 1/2 teaspoon of salt in because I use salted butter. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit of salt and then we're gonna mix that together. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to my spatula, my rubber spatula here, to mix in the flour. Now this flour is heat treated, and what I did is it calls for 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and what I did is I put it in this bowl, you stick it in the microwave for 1 minute and 15 seconds, stirring every 15 seconds. It's gonna stick to the sides of your bowl as everything starts to heat up. That's just what happens. So I'm going to put this in here. And if you want to do this in a stand mixer, you can, but I mean, it's real easy to mix by hand. I just don't like creaming butter and sugar together by hand because it takes forever. Okay, so we're going to mix this together. It should look something like that. Now at this point, you kind of want to feel the texture of the dough. if it feels dry and like it's not gonna stick together in a little truffle, then what you may want to do is you may want to add a little bit of milk. But I think mine's going to stick together just fine. It's a little bit on the humid side here today, so I'm not going to add any milk. If I find that I need to add it later, I'll add it later. But you can add up to 2 tablespoons of milk. You're going to take 1 cup of chocolate. Chunks, chips, whatever. I'm using semi-sweet. Well, actually, this is 72% cacao chocolate chunks that I'm adding. You could do mini chocolate chips. You could do half milk chocolate, half dark chocolate, half semi-sweet, half milk, white, half dark, whatever combination you want to do. And you're just going to mix it together as if you were folding in the chocolate chips into cookie dough that you were going to bake, right? Now you don't want to bake these because there's no egg in them, so there's nothing for them to help them hold their structure. So they're just going to kind of spread and be real thin. I mean, if you want real thin cookies, you could. I think I am going to add a little milk. I'll be right back. Okay, I have this vanilla oat milk that I'm trying to use up, so I'm just going to use this because it's already sweet. And what is that? Is that just a... I'm going to add a tablespoon and see what that does. Okay, that's all I needed. My husband came home from work. And I cleaned up a little bit so that I could scoop these out for you. Now I just have a cookie sheet here with a sheet of parchment paper, and we're just going to take our small cookie scoop here and we're gonna scoop out our little truffles, just like that. And sometimes I'm real neat about it, and sometimes I'm not. I try to get 4 this way. Because they're not baking, so they're not going to spread. So you can put them kind of close together. Because we're just going to freeze them. We're going to put them in the freezer, and we're going to freeze them. And then once they're frozen, this is the way I like to do it anyway. Once they're frozen, then I just put them in a zip top bag or some other airtight container. And just keep them in the freezer, and we just eat them out of the freezer. They're really good that way. Now, you could just put this in a tub and just eat it with a spoon. It's completely edible, just like this. Now you want to put them in the freezer for at least an hour. You want them to be nice and firm before you put them, especially if you're going to put them in a zip top baggie together. It's just going to be a small one by itself. It's fine. See, how many did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 21. That's not bad. Alright, we're going to get these in the freezer and get them nice and firmed up, and then get them in our container. And I like to keep mine, like I said, in the freezer. And we just go in and get however many we want, 1 or 2, and eat them, and they're just really good. They're buttery, they're creamy, they're chocolatey. They taste like cookie dough. So, let me get these in the freezer, and I will try my best to remember to show you the results You know how bad I am at that because life happens. I'm also continuing to clean a coffee pot here. Uh-oh. Anyway, I'm continuing to clean my coffee pot. I will probably run one more round of water through it to clean it. It's just one of the things we had to do today. If I don't come back later and show you the results of the cookie dough truffles. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with anybody you think would be interested in anything that we did in this video today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and join us on our journey through life and toward more self-sustainability. And yeah, leave any comments or questions you have for us in the comment section, and I will see you in our next video.